Welcome to the 11th After Action Report video for the Combat Mission Scottish Corridor campaign. The previous battle, number 10, was a draw which resulted in both the British and the German forces withdrawing from the area surrounding the Église Saint-Pierre Catholic Church at Grainville-sur-Odon. In Battle 10, I faced 2 Panther tanks with supporting grenadiers. Whilst I destroyed 1 Panther, the second inflicted heavy casualties, destroying 5 Churchill tanks. The Panthers were the reason I failed to secure Grainville in the last battle. This has put pressure on my Allied campaign. If I lose this battle, the campaign will end. I believe I can still get a campaign victory result, but I will not continue with any further battles in the campaign. What this means for this battle is that the 9th are being sent back into Grainville, and we must win. Divisional orders are simple: return and secure the area. Intel and battle reports suggest the SS have the same idea, and an enemy force is advancing from the southwest. I have no intel on composition, but I'm expecting armour. I'm dreading that it'll be Panthers. Local mission objectives are to advance and secure the area around the church and to the southwest of the railway cutting. With both the British and German forces advancing on the area of operations, this is being classed as a meeting engagement. I've been assigned D and C Company from the 9th. D Company has not been reinforced from the previous battle and is around 75% strength, while C Company is at full fighting strength. I've been assigned support from the 9th RTR, which comprises 2 troops totalling 6 Churchills, a mix of 75, 57 and 95mm barrelled guns. This is the same composition I had when I faced the 2 Panthers, and I lost 5 Churchills. I also have 2 57mm and 1 17-pounder towed AT guns, and support from an off-map mortar and 25-pounder barrage. Looking at the terrain, I have 4 battalion assigned objectives. They are called Foot, Loose, Fancy and Free. The 2 northerly objectives are the primary goals, with the 2 southerly objectives secondary goals. The map is an expanded area from the previous battle. Intel advises the northern rail cutting and the road running along the track's southern edge is mined and German artillery is zeroed in. The pre-battle dossier indicates that the church and the surrounding buildings are unoccupied and the SS force is approaching from the west, expected to arrive soon. Rather than fight to advance to my objectives, my plan is to rush as much of my force forward as I dare to secure key objectives around the church and then fight a defensive battle. I'll advance the Churchills and position in amongst the buildings, setting up crossing fields of fire to halt the advancing SS. I will not advance as far as objective Foot. This location is too exposed, and the SS can apply considerable fire on that area whilst my defensive line of sight is minimal. I've identified 2 areas of importance to the SS. They are marked as Wurst and Spargel. I see these as potential rally points for advancing infantry and German overwatch or fire suppression locations. I don't have any target reference points, but I shall plan to lay down mortar and artillery on these locations as soon as I've identified an infantry movement in or around the vicinity. The terrain is familiar from previous battles. The buildings are carrying scars from those battles, and so limits some of my opportunities to use them as strong points. The terrain is flat, with hedgerows, copses of trees, and small orchards. The success of this campaign is pivotal. If I lose, it will be the end of the campaign. I'm a little nervous and keen to get stuck in. So gentlemen, start your engines and get your soldiers moving, and let's roll the cameras. C Company are ordered to the left flank, D Company to the right, as the universal carriers and the tanks sprint forward. Time is of the essence. I need to set up my defence before the SS arrive. Sergeant Morrison, 1st Infantry Tank 9 Troop, is the first to enter the village. Sergeant Wallace leads 2 section, 4 platoon carriers as they deploy to secure objective Loose. Sergeant Morrison takes his position. Sergeant Bruce, 1 section 5 platoon anti-tank, moves to his deployment zone. As Corporal Johnson, 2nd Infantry Tank, continues to his setup area. Lieutenant Square, 9 Troop HQ, moves to his deployment location at objective Loose. Captain Swanson, 2IC to D Company, rushes forward to his vantage point, and Captain McDowell, 1 close support tank, rolls forward. While the towed AT guns are still setting up, we get our first spot on German armour. It's a Panther. One and 3 section, 13 platoon, sprint to their position. With the threat of the Panther on my right flank, I change the 17-pounder's orders. They're to relocate and set up on my right flank, together with the 2 57mm towed guns. With my forces making the best of their defensive positions, we're ready for the SS. And they don't disappoint. A second Panther. And then a third. One of the Panthers starts to probe my right flank. My AT guns are still setting up. The 17-pounder isn't even in position. They spot more armour, a half-track. 10 minutes into battle, and I'm comfortable with my defensive posture. Sergeant Robbins, 3 section 4 platoon carrier, is at point, just in front of the church. C Company is covering the left flank and has a platoon in reserve. D Company is covering the centre and the right flank, and the AT guns are deep in defence on my right flank behind the Brockarge. I've identified 4 Panthers. I'm going to call them Panther 1, Panther 2, Panther 3 and Panther 4. I have my Churchills set up in what I believe to be keyhole defensive positions. I'm hoping to catch the Panthers with side-on shots or in crossfire. I get my first solid spots on infantry. As Panther 1 starts to advance. It spots something and opens fire. Captain McDowell in the close support tank. I lose a Churchill. A brain carrier too far in the open. Another victim. Another Churchill. I spot a half-track supporting Panther 2. At Spargel, I spot a light AT half-track. As Panther 3 continues to probe my right flank, 57mm guns fire. The 17-pounder fires, but it just bounces off the armour. Panther 1 and 2 advance in support of a full infantry assault. German artillery falls on my left flank. My spotting, unlike mortar rounds, come in. Sergeant Morrison spots the Panther and opens fire. His tank takes a hit, and he and the gunner are killed. My arty starts to fall on Wurst and Spargel, as a Churchill burns at objective loose and a half-track burns in the distance. My AT has line of sight and opens fire. But the 6-pounder rounds are barely scratching the Panther. Panther 1 continues to rape my defences. As Panther 2 provides overwatch for more infantry. Panther 3 is cutting into my right flank defence. It's pockmarked with 6-pounder hits. The 17-pounder has line of sight. First shot miss. The second shot hits something and the Panther burns. Panther 1 advances as the SS infantry begin their assault on the church grounds. A heavy firefight breaks out. I try and reinforce with infantry. I daren't move my armour because of the Panthers. Lieutenant Square covers 3 Section 13 platoon as they try to withdraw from the Panthers. My defence in the centre is crumbling as the SS advance. Panther 2 takes out a carrier as 3 sections start to get into cover. In an arrogant mood, Panther 2 advances towards the church courtyard, right into line of sight of Lieutenant Square. Two turret hits and the Panther's still active. At last the crew bailed. Lieutenant Square finishes the job and the Panther burns. With two Panthers down, I have room to manoeuvre. I order Lieutenant Square forward to try and secure the centre ground. The infantry are holding back the attacking SS on the edge of the courtyard. Lieutenant Square's timing is impeccable. He takes out two half-tracks and starts to repel the attacking SS. It's my turn to punch back. Churchill's MGs rip through the infantry. The 17-pounder has eyes on Panther 4, but I just can't penetrate it. Over 30 minutes into the battle, and my defence has held and is still holding. 3-section carrier and C Company is holding the church and the left flank. D Company is holding objective loose and the right flank. I have had to withdraw from the centre section because it's too open to enemy fire. I have brought up Major McGillivray to the right hand flank of objective Fancy. Panther 1 is still active. My plan is to attack Panther 1 from two angles, the right flank and from the front. I shall use my remaining 75mm Churchills, so there's a risk to this. Lieutenant Square on my right flank advances. Second Lieutenant McClintock on my left flank advances. Panther 1 sits, looking southeast. Infantry have been laying smoke on the road to the north. At last Panzer IV burns, the 17-pounder punching a hole through its front armour. A second hit to torment the SS. Lieutenant Square hunts forward. exposing his sidearm. Second Lieutenant McClintock stalks the damaged panther. And the crew bails. Lieutenant Square takes a hit on the right flank. The crew throw the tank into reverse and look for the culprit. Was it a Panzerfaust? A second ricochet. The driver steers the Churchill forward. The half-track stood little chance. As the remnants of the SS assault withdraw, my forces do what damage they can. Rather than risk further casualties, I make the decision to offer a ceasefire. I hold objective loose, fancy and free. I know foot is a primary objective, but I think I've done enough for a victory. A British Army tactical victory. I'm happy with that. I've secured 3 of the 4 objectives, sacrificing foot for fewer casualties. The SS still have 70 men active, so it wasn't a whitewash, but they failed to gain sufficient ground and prevent enough casualties. This was an important battle for the campaign, so I'm really pleased with the victory. Since we're the victors, let's take a look at the battlefield. Don't forget the bottom left hand corner for the stats. So Panther 1, this was the real pain in the arse Panther. The presence that the Panther projects upon the battlefield is very strong. They may not have the greatest kill stats, however they prevent movement of armour. I was reluctant to move my Churchills whilst the 4 Panthers were present. Such influence on the battlefield is a powerful force multiplier. Let's take a look at Lieutenant Square, hero of the day. He's supposedly not a very good commander. I think he's earned a medal in this battle. If we just run through some of the other Churchills, relatively low battle stats, but with the dominance of the Panthers, it was difficult to use them in the battle. Here you can see the battle for the church grounds. There's a TRP there, that's not mine. There's quite a few craters from mortar rounds, smaller 2-inch, and I also adjusted some of the 82mm or 81mm onto that line. More casualties in the cornfield. I think these are from when the Churchills managed to advance and from the initial charge of the SS. And then here we see objective foot. Maybe I could have attacked it and taken it with limited casualties, but I got a victory, so yeah. I have to say I'm really pleased about this victory. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you all again soon.